Hello, my name is Ethan and welcome back to another episode of Path of Exile Harvest League 3.11. Good morning, guys. How you guys doing? Welcome back to another episode. Hope you guys are excited for some support specters. Yes, this is another PowerPoint presentation. I know you guys have been waiting for these. Welcome back, 3.11 Harvest League. Here we go. Let's get into my presentation. Okay, so started off with this picture I got from Google. It's beautiful. It's good morning and it's a nice sunrise. It's a little pixelated because I increased the size, but yeah, it looks nice. Alright, let's get right into it, dude. Whoa, what have you set up, Ethan? So I set up this presentation here of support specters, and so I think that the most important thing for people following me should be the one I should start with the ones I'm actually using, explain them, so people following now know my specters and can always look at this video to know what my specters are, how to get them, what they do, why I use them, all that stuff. Let's go through it. Main support specters. So we have a Carnage Chieftain. This is the number one. If I could put a big number one, this guy's number one. He's number one. He's number one. This guy right here, Carnage Chieftain, okay? Where do you get him? You get him in the old fields in Act 2, so early on. It's like you get a Spectre gem, and then you could go raise this guy right away. It's like amazing, it's perfect. During leveling, you have one Spectre, you just go get a Carnage Chieftain. What does he do? Frenzy charges. No way, dude. And at like 31, I think you get blood magic. And if you read it right here, it says mechanic needs blood magic support. And so the reason it needs blood magic support is because if you look up 2 lines, it says costs mana. And so instead of his ability costing mana, it costs life, and he actually has regen and leech, so he can regen that shit. Whereas the mana, we can't give our specters mana regen. So actually, this is like a fix for GGG not introducing a mechanic, which I guess we're happy about, because if we could do that, then that would be annoying for us, unless it was easy, because it would be an extra thing we'd have to worry about. Here we have to worry about an entire gem, which is kind of shit. To be honest, I'd rather it be built in or something somehow, or my skill tree that I could tech into. I don't know. Either way, these are the Carnage Chieftains. What I usually do when I start the game is start with one of these bad boys, then I go for 2 of these, and maybe even a 3rd one. But no, by the 3rd one, when you have your 3rd Spectre, you could probably just get a Host Chieftain. What's that, Ethan? Let me go to the next page. So now we show the upgrade. Well, not really an upgrade, but like the one after that, the bigger. Oh yeah, you can also get this one from the Ashen Fields, but the one you're gonna first find it in is Old Fields, so you should just go there. Main support spectre number 2, Host Chieftain. So you can find this one in the Riverways, the Southern Forest, and the Ashen Fields, Act 6, 6, 7. So you see how you can't find this one till later on? So you don't actually have this one as an option. What does this do? Power charges. If you don't know what power charges are, they're crit. The other one is like attack speed and move speed, I think. This one is attack speed and damage. This one is crit. And so you can't find crit till Act 6. Okay, cost mana, uptime 100%. Mechanic needs blood magic. It's the exact same as the last one, and instead of frenzy charges, it generates power charges, and it's pretty strong. So the reason I don't do this one first is because frenzy charges in the beginning of the game is more powerful than power charges, because we don't have crit stuff yet. Crit stuff is like in our build for minions would be like vicious bite. Anyways, next Spectre. This is the one that confuses everybody, guys. You've seen this probably before. The one in the stream. How you guys doing? Welcome to the support Spectre video finally. Name, They of Tul. Who the fuck is this? There is no information on this dude anywhere. You can't. It's so hard to find about this. Honestly, he's not even in POB. So what is this thing? It's a big ass beast. God damn, they call this a golem. Look at him. Tul, They of Tul. You can find him in Tul breaches. So if you get lucky when playing maps and shit, or just regular areas, you can get a Tul breach, and a Tul breach can spawn They of Tuls. You'll see him. Trust me. He's big. He makes a cloud on the ground, a big snow cloak, and it's really obvious when he's there. and then you'll figure it out pretty quick. But the problem when he comes from a Tul breach is his corpse deletes really fast, like really quickly, so trying to spawn him off of a Tul breach is really impossible. And so I would recommend either spawning it off of a friend, spawning it off of global chat 820, global 820 chat. You can ask for a They of Tul, maybe. You could use my chat on stream, you could use me, you could use your friends. The last and best option that you don't need anyone for is Tul's Breachstone. If you open one of those and you run through it, you'll find about 8 They of Tuls. And now to explain, I want to skip to the bottom. So there's a tip here. When you're looking for They of Tul, the tip is look for a rare name when desecrating. The monster and corpse will be a rare name not named They of Tul. It's not even named They of Tul. How the fuck? Why, GGG? Why? Why? Okay, dude. Well, this is just a like thing that I have to make brain dead, but trust me, when you go to try to find this thing, if I didn't tell you this, you'd be like, wow, that'd be so hard to find. It's not even named They of Tul. It's like, yeah, I know. You're looking for a thing that looks like They of Tul, but it's not named They of Tul, and it's a rare name. It's super confusing. It's the first corpse you've ever seen of raising this shit that's going to be rare. And then when you raise it in your hideout, it's They of Tul. Yeah, when you raise it off somebody else, it's They of Tul. Okay, so now we go back to what it actually does. The effect. Snow Cloak. So it puts down these 2 totems. You might see them here. And these 2 totems shoot projectiles. That part's not relevant. We might do something with that later, but we still haven't done it. The side thing is that they connect, and they make a circle, and it's called a Snow Cloak. And if you stand in it, you get the effect of the Snow Cloak. And so all your minions can also get the effect of the Snow Cloak. So it gives 15% damage reduction. This is 15% in the circle, and 20% dodge of spells and attacks. So is this good? Well, so you read right here, 100% uptime. Yep. Where is it good? Blight and bosses, because small area, standing still, stationary. Bosses, because small boss arenas where they want you to fight the boss. Really, 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 really powerful Spectre that is extremely underrated. Nobody knows about it. There's like no videos, no information. Yeah. They of Tul. Pog. Next. Now we get into the bonus Spectres that are just here for the extra, because if I don't include them, people will ask me about them, and so this is the video to then give my opinion on all these other Spectres. And there's a few that I missed, and so I might do a follow-up if there's enough that you guys can come up with in the comments below of support Spectres, that I can make another video of more opinions and going over more. Maybe you change my idea just by showing me more. Anyways, bonus support Spectres. Oh yeah, for anyone following our build, we do 2 Carnage Chieftains, 1 Host Chieftain, 1 They of Tul. We use 2 Carnage Chieftains because the Frenzy charges are OP. Undying Evangelist. It's found in the Scepter of God and Upper Scepter of God. I didn't want to write it twice because it was too long. Act 3. The Grand Promenade in Act 8. So obviously it's just like the other one doing 2 and 7, but you would just get it in the 3 because it's sooner. Proximity Shield. Blocks damage from outside. So it puts up a shield, and let's say a fireball from an enemy outside the circle comes to you, no damage. So this is like Xin Zhao Ultimate. If you've ever played League of Legends, it's like, I'm in this circle, and if you're outside the circle, you can't hurt me. Does that make sense? So if they're inside the circle, then they fuck you up. And so probably if they're melee, they're going to mess you up. But what thing, so the reason for this, the mechanic here, is can be used to stop fireballs and blight or projectiles ranged hits in blight. So you ever get annoying off-screened or fireballs or just dying to dumb shit in blight, proximity shield, it's kind of like the frost wall mechanic that we're using with the cast when damage taken setup, but instead of the frost wall, it's a proximity shield. So the problem with this is that it has a short uptime, and so what you would need to do is give this blood magic. We already do that. You would also need to give it increased duration, which we never do for any Spectre, so it seems really fucking bad. The only, like, okay, so to keep that in mind. So it's this Spectre, and then you have Diabolist, Okay, cool. So Diabolist is from the Upper Prison, Act 1. So early. You can get an Enfeeble. You can't get Spectres this early, but you could come back for it. So Enfeeble is a curse, and it will basically it's a defensive curse because it debuffs the enemy so that they have reduced accuracy and reduced crit chance. And so this can be used to cast a defensive curse. The problem with this Spectre, I'll warn you, is it's one of the squishiest Spectres I've ever found. So it's super squishy, and so if you're using tanky Spectres and then this, and you thought your Spectres were never going to die, well, this will die 24/7, and you'll be shocked at how squishy it is. And the curse is limited by our curse limit. So just as an example, let's say we're casting a curse, it won't work, it'll overwrite. If we use an Animate Guardian to cast a curse, then it'll overwrite. If we use a curse on a glove or a ring or something to curse, it'll still overwrite. So the Spectres cursing isn't a great idea because they're kind of terrible. The Spectres themselves are just so terrible. If they were really tanky and they cast the curses, then they'd be good, right? We might use them. But because we get free curse on the Animate Guardian anyways, or free curse in my build if I want to attack, then that's also a thing. So we don't need Enfeeble. This one's really cool. It's like the upgraded version. I started with the weak. There's also a Temporal Chains. I know people will tell me about that one. It's the same shit as the Enfeeble basically. So I didn't include it. So bonus support Spectres here. Merveil's Retainer. This one's cool. And it's another one of these ones where GG made it way too hard to get, and that's why it's probably really good. So you can get it from the Sea Witch mod rolled on a map. And so I was using like alterations, and then it's like Sea Witches are on this map, and it's like, oh cool, awesome, now I can get Sea Witches, and then you have to go find the Merveil's Retainer. Have fun. Or you could get this off somebody else, like the other way of just finding a friend or getting it from Global Chat 820. So this casts Vulnerability. Vulnerability is another curse. This one's to make more physical damage, and I think maiming and big physical. And so also 100% uptime, and so super big boosted damage before your Animate Guardian. If you don't have the curse yet, of course, you can get this, and it's just a Spectre, and if it dies, it's not a big deal because it doesn't cost anything. You just have to keep raising it, which is really annoying. So it's a Spectre that automatically casts your damage curse, which is insane. AFK completely. You could AFK Blight with this without the Animate Guardian, and this will cast the curse, and it might not die because it's Blight. Super fun, but just like the Diabolic, super squishy and dead 24/7. I just like to warn people about everything there is, why I don't use them, etc. We've tried them, they're great, but also big downsides, big buffs needed. Okay, so this is the last one, I believe. Arena Master. So now I want you to keep in mind the increased duration that I brought up with the Undying Evangelist. I'm sure people will now take this and use this because it's kind of cool. So the Arena Master of XXX, this is what it'll show up as. Map Influenced. You find it in the Map Influenced by Drox. So most people will call this the Arena Master, but actually when you find it, it's called the Arena Master of XXX. So found Map Influenced by Drox the Conqueror. So you have to get a Conk influence on your map. It's pretty early that you can do that. It's literally when you enter mapping. It's pretty early. And then you can get an Arena Master. And so what this does is 40% attacks, cast, and move speed. That's crazy, dude. That's like two eminence. 2 eminence. Okay. Cost mana. Uptime, 3-second duration. 8-second cooldown. Wait a minute. So then I took the 3 seconds, I divided by 8, I got 0.375. So then I took so like the uptime when you like break down it into a mechanic, it's like, okay, so 37.5% of the time this is up. So then you break that, you times that by the actual buff to figure out what the average buff is. Like, so if a fight, let's say, took 8 seconds, and so for 3 of the 8 seconds you had the buff, and the other 5 you didn't have the buff, what was the average buff that you had throughout the 8 seconds? Makes sense, right? And so I figured out that this was, on average, 15% attack and move speed. The move speed's not really relevant, but this is basically like saying 75% of an eminence. And now to like put this fully into perspective, okay, so you can run one. It's great. It's great when it's working, and it's useless when it isn't. Now, to put like more into perspective, so like keeping up your frenzy charges is 12% attack speed and more damage, 12% more damage. So if you wanted to, for example, you were thinking big brain, I'm gonna run one Carnage Chieftain, fuck you Ethan, and I'm gonna run one Arena Master of this, and then it'll be better because I can keep the frenzies. And it's like, okay, so now let me just warn you, if you don't keep the frenzies, you're losing 12% attack speed consistency and 12% more damage. That part you probably didn't know about. You were only thinking it was like, oh, some attack speed. No, frenzy charges are pretty crazy, and you want to keep them up. That's why I use the 2 Carnage. The 1 Host for the power charges, which is still pretty consistent, and it's a huge buff. It's more consistent than this, and it's better. And then I think that the They of Tul is just better. If we had a 5th Spectre, maybe. If we ran, so maybe instead of like, I don't know, you'd have to have like 7 Spectres, dude. Be able to run an Undying Evangelist, the our Arena Master, get the increased duration, add an extra gem to it, have an extra 6 link for Spectres. Dude, there you go. Just rework Spectres, give us more. No, but or you could just change the package that you run, because if you're running around, I guess you won't run maybe you don't run the proc shield, and you don't run They of Tul maybe, and so you could run Carnage, Host, and Arena Master. That can also work if you don't want to run the damage. This is my next best probably, unless you need a curse. If you don't have the Animate Guardian, your 4th Spectre could be this. And then when you're AFKing Blight, obviously They of Tul, the best fucking Spectre around, most consistent. Hope you guys have enjoyed this video. Hope this can help you with Spectres and what to do and how to use them, and maybe even utilizing some of the ones I don't use myself but are actually pretty powerful, especially in breakpoints where you're missing things because you're poor. Hope you guys have enjoyed. Thank you guys for watching. Thanks for hanging out. I'm going to take this opportunity to thank my Patreon and my YouTube members who financially support the channel. Thank you guys so much for watching. I can't do this without you guys. Thank you to anyone new who joins the Patreon and the YouTube members today. And I'll see you guys in the next episode. Bye!